After the emotionally charged storm of episode 4, an hour that dragged nearly every character back into the darkest corners of their memories, Landman now stands on the edge of a major shift. Episode 5 is shaping up to be the turning point of the season, the moment where the warmth of unexpected reconciliations crashes into the cold weight of consequences that can no longer be ignored, postponed, or buried under denial. If episode 4 was the reckoning with the ghosts that shaped them, episode 5 is the confrontation with the choices those ghosts have inspired. Rebecca, the fallout arrives. Episode 4 ended with a tension that practically guaranteed trouble for Rebecca. She spent the entire episode fleeing responsibility emotionally and physically by disappearing into Charlie Newsom's intoxicating, chaotic orbit. What felt like escape soon revealed itself as avoidance. And while she drowned herself in alcohol and turbulence, MTex suffered another devastating blow. An employee died on site, adding tragedy to a company already limping under impossible pressure. Episode 5 is expected to bring the fallout she has been desperately, almost childishly, trying to outrun. Rebecca has always walked the razor's edge between fierce loyalty to MTex and simmering resentment at being overworked, underpaid, and underrecognized. But this is the first time her attempts to run from the weight of her life have crossed a line she cannot talk her way out of. Walt is unlikely to overlook her disappearing act, not this time, not with blood on the ground. And Nathan, already drowning in MTex's financial disaster, may finally be forced to confront the question he has been avoiding. Is Rebecca still capable of holding the legal and ethical line for a company on the verge of collapse? The unanswered call from Walt will hang over her like a shadow she can't escape. And Charlie, charming but undeniably dangerous, will only complicate matters further. His sudden interest in her, something she thought would be temporary, harmless, now threatens to tangle her personal crisis with MTex's growing catastrophe. Episode 5 could push Rebecca to confront whether she stumbled into a fleeting distraction or the beginning of a self-destructive spiral she can no longer control, one way or another. Episode 5 seems poised to expose the war inside Rebecca, no more hiding, even from herself. Ariana and Cooper, love on fragile ground. Series' most complicated relationship ended episode 4 on a tender, uncertain note as Ariana and Cooper finally collapse back into each other's arms. But the emotional distance between them remains a wound that intimacy alone cannot heal. Ariana is still torn between protecting her identity, defending her community, and confronting a love that both comforts and terrifies her. Cooper, meanwhile, is only now beginning to realize the depth of the void created by his inability to express what he truly wants or what he fears losing. Episode 5 will likely explore the aftermath of their reunion with a blend of intimacy, friction, and vulnerability. Ariana may attempt to define what a future with Cooper looks like, one that doesn't force her to abandon the neighborhood she refuses to leave behind. Cooper, now more exposed and more willing to listen than ever before, may discover that desire alone isn't enough to bridge the gap between them. Their conversations are likely to form the emotional backbone of episode 5, quiet, heavy exchanges where a single misstep could fracture them again, or finally allow them to grow into something real. Miguel's perspective will also become critical. As the one person both of them love without question, his reaction could anchor the entire storyline. Episode 5 may position him as the emotional compass guiding Ariana and Cooper toward an inevitable but necessary reckoning. Tommy and Tom, a long-awaited episode 4 ended with one of the show's most tender and quietly devastating moments. Tommy choosing to bring Tom home instead of leaving him alone in Prairie View. It was a gesture decades in the making, layered with pain, resentment, regret, and love that neither has ever known how to express. Episode 5 will likely continue this delicate emotional thaw. Their reconciliation is far from certain. Their new living arrangement will force them into uncomfortable proximity, and the show may use small, intimate moments, shared meals, passing comments, awkward silences to reveal how much weight still lingers between them. Tommy's lifelong hurt won't vanish simply because he opened a door, and Tom's guilt won't dissolve simply because he walked through it. Angela, ever the emotional heartbeat of the family, may find herself stepping into the role of mediator, helping them navigate the fragile beginnings of a relationship they never believed they'd get another chance to rebuild. But for the first time, both men seem willing to try. And episode 5 will likely nurture that glimmer of hope, even as external pressures threaten to unravel it. The season turns, small choices, big consequence. Episode 4 was about looking back. Episode 5 will be the moment. Every character is forced to look forward even if the future terrifies them. MTex is on the brink of collapse. Relationships are hanging by threads. Loyalties are fraying. And each character now stands one choice away from a chain reaction that could reshape the rest of the season. Episode 5 may not be explosive in the traditional sense, but emotionally, it will be seismic. This is the hour where small decisions carry enormous weight, where buried truths rise to the surface, and where every bond, belief, and promise is tested. The groundwork laid here is likely to define everything that follows.